The scream tore through the night, sharp and merciless, as Emma said. "How could you, Lily? How could you do this to me?" The words echoed against the walls of the dimly lit living room, shattering what little calm remained. Lily froze, her hand trembling as she clutched the phone, her face pale in the glow of the flickering lamp. Emma's voice shook, carrying the weight of years of trust now crumbling into dust. "You were my best friend, my sister, and everything, and you lied to me." The silence pressed heavy before Lily whispered, "You don't understand, Emma. It was never about you." Emma's chest heaved as the betrayal pulsed in her veins, and her voice cracked. "Never about me. It was always about us, Lily. Always about us." From the corner, David, who had unknowingly become the wedge, looked stricken, guilt searing through his eyes. His presence only deepened the wound, while Mia, the quiet observer, stood frozen by the doorway, her lips parted as though words had died in her throat. Every breath in the room tasted like ashes. The silence after the scream was suffocating, broken only by the crackling lamp. Emma said, "Every memory feels poisoned now." Lily's face drained of color as she whispered, "I never wanted it to be this way." David stepped forward, but Emma snapped, "Don't you dare, David." The walls of the living room seemed to close in, the air too thick to breathe. Mia pressed against the doorframe, her eyes darting from Emma to Lily, silently pleading for the storm to calm. Emma's voice dropped, heavy with despair. "I trusted you with everything, Lily, and you threw it away." Lily's eyes filled with tears as she whispered again, "You don't know the whole story." But Emma's pain was louder than excuses, her words cutting deeper than knives. Emma's voice cracked as memories flooded back. "Do you remember when we were kids, Lily? When we promised never to hurt each other?" Lily's chin trembled, her eyes darting away as if she couldn't bear the memory. David's jaw tightened, his presence a reminder of the betrayal's cost. Mia finally whispered, "You two were unbreakable. What happened?" Emma's hands shook as she pressed them against her chest. "What happened is that she chose her desires over our bond," Emma said, her voice breaking. Lily muttered, "It wasn't about desire. It was about survival." The words hit like stones, twisting Emma's heart. The room pulsed with anger and grief as the fragile fabric of their friendship tore apart. Emma said, "All those nights we swore loyalty under the stars. You meant nothing by them." Lily shook her head, tears dripping onto her shirt. "I meant them, Emma, I did." David stepped closer, his hand half raised before falling back. Mia whispered, "This isn't how forever was supposed to look." The living room's shadows deepened, every flicker of the lamp casting doubt across the walls. Emma's voice became colder, slicing through the silence like ice. "Then explain why I feel like a stranger to you now." Lily's sobs filled the gaps, but no words could heal the fracture already carved too deep. Emma's breath trembled as she stared at Lily, her words cutting low. "You shattered something I can never rebuild." Lily pressed her face into her hands, muffling sobs that filled the suffocating space. David stepped back, shame etched into his every line, as if his presence alone was a confession. Mia said, "If love can tear this apart, maybe it was never strong enough." Emma's gaze hardened, her chest rising with each sharp breath. "No, Mia, it was strong. She just decided loyalty meant nothing." The weight of the words slammed into the room like a final hammer on glass already cracked. The storm of betrayal echoed in Emma's heart, but memories clawed their way back, reminding her of softer days. She whispered, "We were kids once, Lily, running barefoot in the park, laughing until our stomachs ached." Lily's eyes shimmered, guilt mixing with longing, as she murmured, "Those summers were the happiest I ever knew." The air shifted, heavy shadows replaced by fragile warmth, and Emma's voice softened, though pain remained. "I never thought those moments would betray me like you have." David leaned against the wall, silently picturing the girls he had known long before desire complicated their bond. Mia spoke gently, "I remember you two building forts out of blankets, swearing forever like it was carved into the stars." The memory cut deep, Emma clenching her jaw, her heart torn between love of what once was and rage at what was lost. The room seemed to fill with echoes of laughter long dead, ghosts of friendship flickering against the walls. Emma closed her eyes, her voice breaking. I can still smell the grass from those nights we camped in my backyard, whispering secrets under the stars. Lily's shoulders trembled, her lips quivering as she whispered, "We thought forever was so simple then." David crossed his arms, trying to steady himself against the storm of emotions. Nia added softly, "The two of you would share everything, even the smallest dreams, like no force could ever touch you." Emma opened her eyes, pain sharpening into fury. "And now I wonder if every promise we made was just another lie." Lily covered her mouth, tears sliding down her cheeks, unable to defend herself. The memory felt like a cruel mirror, reflecting joy now poisoned by betrayal. Silence hung thick, punctuated only by Emma's ragged breathing. Emma paced slowly, her voice sharp with pain. "We swore that no one could ever come between us, Lily. We swore it." Lily's sobbing grew harsher, her face buried in her hands, her voice muffled. "I never thought I would break that promise." David exhaled heavily, guilt pressing his body down, while Mia shook her head in disbelief. Emma stopped pacing, her eyes burning as she pointed toward Lily. "You chose to break it the moment you let him in." David flinched, the sting of truth carving deeper than silence. Mia said, "Love was never supposed to be a weapon." Emma turned to her with trembling rage, "But it was, and she used it." The echo of her words filled every corner, every memory colliding into ruin. Emma's tone shifted, aching beneath her fury. "Do you remember, Lily, when you held my hand after my father left, promising me I'd never face pain alone?" Lily's sobs softened into whispers. "I remember every word, Emma. And I meant them." David's eyes closed, unable to face the memory of loyalty broken. Nia's lips parted, her whisper floating like a fragile truth. "You carried each other's wounds for years." Emma's voice trembled with restrained grief. "And tonight you chose to wound me instead." Lily reached toward Emma, but the distance between them felt insurmountable. Every inch, a battlefield. The silence after her attempt spoke louder than any plea. Emma said bitterly, "We built forever on shaky ground, and I was too blind to see it." Lily's shoulders shook as she whispered, "I never wanted forever to end this way." David rubbed his temples, shame clawing at his every movement. Nia said firmly, "If friendship can be broken this easily, maybe it wasn't real." Emma's eyes flared as she answered, "It was real, Mia. It was everything. But Lily decided it was disposable." Lily's tears fell harder, her voice shaking. "I loved us, Emma. But I couldn't stop myself." The words landed like stones, and the room became unbearably heavy. Emma stared at her, rage and sorrow burning, knowing nothing would ever be the same again. The tension deepened as Emma whispered, "Your silence speaks louder than words, Lily, and it poisons everything." Lily's breath hitched, her eyes darting to David, her guilt plain. David said quietly, "I never wanted this to happen." Emma's glare cut through him like steel. "But you let it happen, David." Nia clenched her hands together, her voice low but firm. "All of you knew the storm was coming, but none of you tried to stop it." Emma shook her head, pacing with fury, every unanswered call, every excuse. "I ignored them because I trusted you, Lily." Lily's tears spilled freely. "I couldn't tell you the truth, Emma. I didn't know how." The air seemed to hum with unspoken truths, pressing against fragile silence. Emma's voice hardened. "You chose shadows over honesty, Lily, and every lie cut me deeper." Lily sobbed. "I never meant to hurt you, Emma, I swear." David tried to step closer, but Emma snapped, "Stay where you are, David." The room pulsed with heat, Mia whispering, "Truth always finds a way to rip through silence." Emma pointed at Lily with shaking hands. "You let resentment grow in the dark, and now it consumes us." Lily's sobs turned to a whisper. "I was jealous, Emma, jealous of the way everything seemed to come to you so easily." Emma froze, her chest rising sharply as the confession seared into her bones. Emma's voice trembled with rage. "All this time I thought I was protecting our bond while you were feeding it poison." Lily whispered, "I hated feeling second to you, Emma, even when you never saw it." David's throat tightened, shame drawing lines across his face. Mia murmured. Jealousy is a slow fire, and you let it burn too long, Lily. Emma's hand pressed against her chest, her breathing ragged. I would have given you everything if you had just asked. Lily shook her head, sobbing harder. It was never enough. I wanted to be you, Emma. The words shattered the air, leaving David and Mia in stunned silence. Emma's voice cracked. We were supposed to be equals, Lily, not enemies hiding under smiles. Lily cried. I couldn't escape my own envy, Emma. It swallowed me whole. David stepped back, guilt pressing like chains, as Mia whispered, I saw the cracks, but I was too afraid to say anything. Emma turned sharply, her eyes searing. So you watched me fall into her lies, Mia. Mia lowered her gaze, shame burning. Lily sobbed. Don't blame her, Emma. This was mine. Emma's shoulders trembled, fury and sorrow warring within her. No, Lily, it was ours, and you destroyed it. The silence after struck like thunder in the heart. Emma's voice was cold, sharp as glass. Jealousy isn't an excuse, Lily. It's a choice, and you chose betrayal. Lily lifted her tear-streaked face, whispering, I never wanted to lose you, Emma. But I couldn't fight myself. David leaned against the wall, every muscle tense, his silence screaming guilt. Mia said softly, the truth is out now, and none of us can run from it. Emma stared at Lily, her eyes glistening with fire. You already lost me the moment you decided loyalty meant nothing. The words hung like a final sentence, their friendship splintering into shards that could never be gathered again. Emma's voice cracked. You've hidden something from me, Lily. I feel it burning in your silence. Lily shook her head violently, tears streaming. If I tell you, you'll never forgive me. David stiffened, his hands gripping the arm of the chair as if bracing for impact. Emma stepped closer, her eyes blazing. Then tell me, because lies have already destroyed us. Mia whispered. Truth will break the last thread, holding you together. Lily collapsed onto the couch, whispering words that felt like knives. It was David. Emma. I was with him when I said I was with you. The world shattered in Emma's chest, the confession detonating like a cruel explosion. David's face drained of color as his eyes dropped, unable to deny what Lily had revealed. Emma gasped, her voice trembling. You were with him? All those nights you said you were mine to trust, you were with him? Lily sobbed harder. I didn't mean to fall into it, Emma. I didn't mean for it to happen. David finally spoke, his tone hollow. It was my weakness too. I should have stopped it. Emma's body shook, her breath ragged. You both chose this, and you both chose to betray me. Mia whispered, Emma. This truth was always bleeding beneath the surface. Emma turned to her with fury. And you didn't tell me? Mia's eyes lowered, tears forming. I saw enough to suspect, but I hoped I was wrong. The weight of the truth crushed the room into suffocating silence. Emma screamed, You stole the only thing I believed was safe between us, Lily. Lily cried, I never meant to steal. I just wanted to feel chosen for once. David stepped forward, guilt dripping from every word. Emma, I cared for you both. But I lost myself in weakness. Emma's eyes blazed with fire, her voice cutting sharp. You lost me, David, and you lost every piece of what we were. Mia whispered, This is the betrayal no one recovers from. Emma's body shook violently, her voice dropping into a raw whisper. You didn't just take him, Lily. You took every version of us that could have been. The truth settled like ash, suffocating every breath of hope left in the room. Emma's voice broke. Every secret we shared, every vow we made, you shattered it for him. Lily sobbed. It wasn't about him, Emma. It was about me not wanting to be second anymore. David whispered, I should have told you the truth before it rotted us. Emma turned to him with venom. You don't get to speak, David. You don't get to explain. Mia's whisper carried through the storm. Sometimes betrayal isn't about love. It's about envy eating away at trust. Emma's eyes brimmed with tears, her chest heaving, and envy has destroyed everything. Lily reached out, but Emma recoiled, as though her touch was poison. The distance between them became eternal in that moment. Emma whispered, her voice hollow, I loved you, Lily, more than anyone in this world, and you made me a fool. Lily's sobs racked her body, her whisper barely audible. I never stopped loving you, Emma. I just failed you. David pressed his palms to his face, shame cutting deeper with every second. Mia said softly, sometimes love itself becomes the weapon that breaks us. Emma's eyes hardened, her voice deadly quiet. No, Lily, you didn't just fail me, you killed us. The words pierced the room like final judgment, leaving nothing but silence and broken hearts scattered like glass across the floor. Emma's voice erupted like thunder. You didn't just betray me, you ripped my soul apart, Lily. Lily collapsed onto her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't mean to destroy you, Emma. I just lost myself. David slammed his fist against the wall, his voice breaking. This is all on me too, I should have walked away. Emma spun toward him, rage searing. You don't get to speak as if guilt erases the knife you shoved into my back. Mia shouted, her voice sharp, stop tearing each other apart, the damage is already done. The air shook with their voices, each word heavier than the last, every sentence striking like lightning through the fragile remains of friendship. Emma's body trembled as she screamed, every word you spoke to me, Lily, was poisoned with lies. Lily sobbed, clutching her chest. It was never lies, Emma, it was weakness. David muttered, his voice hollow. I should have told the truth before it came to this. Emma advanced toward him, her eyes blazing. You don't get to rewrite history with regret. Mia's voice cracked. This friendship was once a fire, now it's nothing but ashes. Emma's breath came fast, her voice raw. You both turned my forever into dust, and I will never forgive you. The silence afterward vibrated like the last breath before a storm's final strike. Emma roared, you took my trust, you tore it apart, and now you stand here drowning me with excuses. Lily cried, I wanted to stop Emma, but the more I lied, the deeper I sank. David shouted, hate me, blame me, but don't let this destroy you too. Emma's glare cut him down. You think I can survive this, David? You've killed the best part of me. Mia whispered, her voice fragile. I've never seen love turn into war so quickly. Emma's breathing ragged, she said, this is no war. This is an execution, and you're both guilty. The words hung in the air like a final verdict. Emma's voice dropped to a low growl. Every time I looked at you, Lily, I saw my sister, not my enemy. And you shattered that. Lily's sobs shook her frame. I never stopped loving you, Emma. I just lost my way. David muttered. Love shouldn't feel like chains, but I let it bind me to silence. Emma snapped. Silence is betrayal, David, and yours was louder than any scream. Mia said softly, Emma, sometimes broken glass can't be pieced back together. Emma turned sharply, her tears mixing with rage, then let it stay shattered, because I will not bleed for them again. The words rang through the suffocating air like steel. Emma's voice shook the room. I gave you both everything, and you gave me ruins. Lily lifted her head, her voice shaking. I will never forgive myself, Emma. David whispered, neither will I. Emma's eyes blazed, her body trembling with finality. Good, because I will never forgive either of you. Mia pressed her hand to her chest, whispering, this is the death of something beautiful, and none of us will ever heal the same. Emma's voice cut sharp as glass. No, Mia, this isn't death, it's murder, and they killed everything we were. The silence afterward was suffocating, final, absolute. The room was silent, except for the ragged breaths of 4 broken souls. Emma whispered, what's left of me isn't yours anymore, Lily. Lily sobbed, her voice hollow. Then I've lost everything that ever mattered. David leaned against the wall, guilt pressing him into shadows. I destroyed us all. Emma's face hardened. You didn't destroy us, David. You destroyed yourself. Mia stepped forward, her voice steady, though her eyes burned. What's left now is nothing but scars. Emma's voice cracked. Scars don't fade, Mia. They remind us of every wound. The silence afterward was heavy with finality, like ash falling after fire. Emma's voice was sharp but weary. I will walk away from this, but you will stay chained to what you've done. Lily's tears slid endlessly. Don't leave me with this, Emma. Please. David muttered. We can never undo it. Emma's gaze seared him. No, David. But you can live with the ruins you made. Mia whispered. This night will haunt every one of us. Emma turned slowly toward the door, her breath shaking. That's the only justice left. for you both to live with the ghosts of what you killed. Her steps carried the weight of finality. Emma whispered to herself, I gave everything, and loyalty still meant nothing. Lily cried louder, I will carry this guilt until I die. David said bitterly, and I will carry the shame. Emma turned, her voice cutting like glass. You'll carry it without me. Nia's words were soft. Sometimes leaving is the only way to survive. Emma's chest heaved as she stepped closer to the door, each footstep heavy. I'm done bleeding for the people who decided I wasn't enough. The words bled into the silence, sharp and final. Emma looked at Lily one last time, her voice trembling. You were supposed to be my forever, and now you're my greatest loss. Lily's sobbing fractured into gasps. I never wanted to be your enemy. David pressed his hand to his face, his whisper hollow. I ruined both of you. Nia said, This isn't just ruin, David, it's a grave. Emma's voice cracked, and I'm burying us here tonight. She turned, her shadow stretching long as though the house itself wept with her. Emma placed her hand on the doorknob, whispering, Loyalty meant nothing to you, but it still means everything to me, and that's why I'm leaving. Lily cried out, her voice broken. Emma, please don't go, please. David whispered, She has to, Lily, because we killed her trust. Nia's words carried softly. Some endings come not with fire but with silence. Emma opened the door, cold air rushing in, her silhouette framed in the night. Without turning back, she whispered, Goodbye, leaving the ruins behind her. The cold air rushed into the living room as Emma stood in the doorway, her shadow stretching long into the broken silence. Lily cried out desperately, Don't leave me like this, Emma, please. David lowered his head, voice heavy with regret. She can't stay, Lily. We both killed what she cherished most. Emma's voice was sharp but trembling. I gave you my soul, and you both traded it for weakness. Nia whispered, her tone cutting softly, Tonight is the funeral of everything you once were. Emma turned, her face illuminated by the night. No, Mia. This isn't a funeral. It's a betrayal written into my bones. Her words pierced deeper than the cold wind. Emma's eyes burned as she said, Loyalty meant nothing to you, but it meant everything to me. Lily's sobs cracked. I'll never forgive myself for this, Emma. Never. David's whisper was raw. And I will never escape what I've done. Nia said, her voice steady, You'll carry this night forever, and it will weigh more than chains. Emma shook her head, her whisper low. It's not chains. It's a coffin you built for us, and you buried me alive inside it. Lily's cries filled the silence, echoing off the hollow walls. Emma's voice was sharp as lightning. You didn't just betray me. You betrayed every memory, every promise, every dream. Lily lifted her head, face drenched in tears. I loved you, Emma. I swear I did. Emma shook her head, whispering coldly, Love doesn't betray, Lily. You chose yourself over us. David muttered, and I helped her burn everything you trusted. Nia whispered, The fire's ashes will never fade from your hearts. Emma's eyes narrowed. Let them choke on their own flames, because I'm done breathing for them. Her words felt like a dagger buried deep. Emma whispered, her voice shaking, I'll carry this wound, but I won't carry either of you with me. Lily cried out, Please, Emma, don't erase me completely. Emma's gaze hardened. You erased yourself the night you chose betrayal. David pressed his fist against the wall, whispering, I wish I could take it all back. Emma's face turned cold. Wishes are dust, David, and they can't glue shattered glass. Nia said softly, Some scars are carved so deep they echo louder than love. Emma nodded faintly, her whisper final. This scar is the truth, and it will never heal. Emma stepped into the night, her voice soft but echoing like thunder. I lost my best friend the day I found out who she really was. Lily's sobbing turned into a broken wail. Emma. David slumped against the wall, guilt hollowing him to silence. Nia whispered, her voice trembling, They didn't just betray you, Emma. They betrayed every version of what you could have been. The door closed with a heavy thud, sealing the death of a bond once thought unbreakable. The night swallowed Emma whole, leaving only ruin behind.